Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you. It always is. I hope you're doing well. We're straight back to business today. Over in the Cincinnati Masters, that's right. Back-to-back Masters for us, aren't we? A lucky bunch. Going to be going through the rest of these matches for the first round. As always, we will be sure to go through each and every one of them. Make sure you're getting your comments in with your predictions as we go. If there's anything that I'm going to be taking personally today, it'll be in that pinned comment, so make sure you're taking a look at that if you want to know. You do with it what you will. You can take it if you want, you can leave it if you must. It is entirely up to you. But before we get started, I'm going to ask you to like the video. If you'd be so kind, I'm also going to ask you to get yourself subscribed to the channel, providing you're not already. We continue to grow each and every day. It would be an honour to welcome you to the team. You can support the channel if you want. There's a link in that description and the pinned comment. You can hit that thanks under the video. Do not feel obliged. It's only if you're feeling up to it. But very well. First things first, different tournaments, but how did we get on? In the semi-finals over in Toronto yesterday, I just took the over in Zverev and Kecmanovic. It looked like there was a time or two where Zverev may have shot that away for me, but I was never really in doubt that was going to hit. But fair play to Kecmanovic, got himself into the final along with good old Shelley. You know, it was most definitely not the final we expected, but you have to admit it is certainly the final that we deserve. I apologise, I missed the video for that. I have only just got up from night shift, so I had to go through these, quite a few to go through today, but I'll do a little post. You'll probably see the post before you see the video anyway, because as always I am very interested to know your thoughts on the final tonight. But best of luck with it, whatever you're going for. If I had to take it, look, if I haven't posted it, then I haven't went for it. But you know, if you're watching this after the final, I probably would have went with another over 22.5, providing the price is right. I do think we're getting Shelton at a decent favourite in this one here. A lot of people think Shelton's going to win, and he probably can. He looked very, very impressive against Taylor Fritz, did he not? If he can do that against Fritz, I feel like if he can turn up and do it against Kecmanovic, he stands a very good chance at taking that title over in Toronto. So best of luck to Shelley, best of luck to Kecmanovic too. Two of them definitely deserve to be there. But you let me know what you're going for. You let me know what you're going for today as well. And did you win yesterday? Did you win? Did you lose? Did you just come close? But now all that is out the way. We'll get right into it, folks. Let's get down to business. Let's get it on. Right then, first off, today for us over in the Cincinnati Masters, we've got Ugo Carabelli and Nishikori. Like I said at the start, quick fire, first round. I always say it, I always have done, and I always will. You've just got to see who wants to be here. Well, more importantly, who deserves to be here, shall we say. I would like to think Nishikori will get this one done. As far as, you know, a hard court surface goes, I feel like I've definitely seen a lot more from Nishikori over the seasons than what I have from Carabelli. It's no secret to us, this guy prefers the clay above all. I wouldn't be too confident in picking Nishikori on this one though, although it would be the way that I would lean. His season has been very patchy indeed. 13 wins, 10 losses, 9-5 on the hard court, done the most of the damage on the surface, so there is that. Struggled for rhythm, struggled for fitness. Very first tournament of the season that we watched over in Hong Kong, he did get to the final and got beat by Alexander Muller. Bit of a strange one. It was a decent draw as well. You'd have never have said that both of them would have made it to that final, but he did. He was a massive favourite to get that final done, and he didn't have what it took on the day. But apart from that, I mean, you're talking a bunch of one-on-ones, like he's played the odd tournament. You're lucky to get more than 2 tournaments a month out of this guy, if that. Best run was on the Phoenix, we had the Phoenix Challenger, I'd say, yeah, it definitely was. Nardi, Kukushkin, Flavio Caballi got to the semi-finals, got beat by Joao Fonseca, and we haven't seen him on the hard court since. He went, is that 3-3 on the clay? Since we came onto it. So yeah, how he's going to look transitioning back, I'm not too sure. Like I say, his season hasn't hasn't been that trustworthy, to say the least. Ugo Carabelli, if we were on the clay, I'd probably just take him, but we're not. 3 and 4 on the hard court. Went on a little bit of a decent run over in Miami. Bit of an unexpected run, to say the least. But apart from that, he ain't really done anything. And he never really does do anything on the surface. He's just been beat by Basavareddy over in Toronto, first round. And it was a fucking disgrace as well. I don't know what happened to him there. Basavareddy, maybe it's not too fair to say we know he's been banged out of form, but we did see him put in a decent match against Taylor Fritz. So maybe he's slowly coming back into himself. But 6-4, 4-1. Ugo Carabelli ended up pulling out right before he got beat. Maybe he was actually injured. Maybe he just, I don't know, maybe he told his brothers or his dad to have a little bet on him. Bet on me, I'll win this. This guy's out of form. Fucking Gaucho's on me. Didn't quite go the way he expected, did it? I could certainly not go with him. Most definitely could not trust him in this one. Maybe he is struggling fitness-wise. Maybe he just can't play on the hard court. Like I say, I'd just have to lean towards Nishikori in this one, but unfortunately I would not pick that with a lot of conviction. 1.6, it's probably as good as it's going to get for that one. And then next up we've got Nardi and Tirante. I'd go with the Argentine on this. I think I'd go with Tirante if I had to bet it. Both of them have just come through qualifying. I say both had come through qualifying. Tirante come through qualifying. Nardi did not come through qualifying. He ended up getting beat by Alexander Blockx. That's right. Straight sets by the young Belgian there, 6-4, 6-3. The rule applies, doesn't it? If you haven't even made it through qualifying, I just can't trust you to get it done in the main draw. But how many times this season have we seen people fail in qualifying and then get that ticket to the main draw and they've just turned up the heat a little bit, have they not? Wouldn't be surprised to see that one happen today. I couldn't go with Nardi at all. He's won 4 of his last 10. That's dating back to the French Open. Tirante does seem to be in a little bit better of form, to say the least. 7 of his last 10. He's went in 9 and 4 on the hard court. The Italians went 10 and 9. No secret to us, Tirante most definitely prefers the clay above all. Nardi, I couldn't really tell you what he prefers. He'll have a good season on the clay and a shit one on the hard, and then a good one on the hard and a shit one on the clay. It's tough to get a read on him. Tough to get a read on this guy. I probably would have said he was more of a clay player, but going off the past couple of seasons, he seems to be doing the majority of the damage on the hard court. Maybe not so much this season, but 24 and 23 for the Italian, 34-21 for Tirante. He played each other once before in the US Open 2 years ago. Hard court, Tirante got that one done in straight sets. It would be a very slight lean once again. Odds are 1.6. Not bad. It's not bad as a parlay piece. It's a very sweet parlay piece. You only need something rather small to pair with that to get yourself a nice piece of pie. So who have we got next? This order of play still filtering through, folks. So I have got all the games. So if they're a bit out of order, I do apologise. But that's what the timestamps are for, is it? That's what the timestamps are for. Don't worry about it. But I'll tell you what, we've got Coric and Emilio Nava. Should be a good one. This should be a good one. I'm rather interested in this, if I'm being honest. I'd be going with Emilio Nava in this one. I'd be going with the American. He's been decent. He's been fairly decent. Let me just remind you, before Mexico, before we came back to the hard court, there was a hell of a lot of question marks surrounding the hard court game of Emilio Nava. Well, at least for me, there was anyway. Coric. This guy's impossible. This guy's just impossible. It is what it is with Coric. I mean, I kind of have to see him playing well in order for me to know he's playing well. But then again, by the time you realise Coric is playing well, it's usually a bit too late for you to start trusting him if you were to get to the quarters or the semis. So, like I say, I don't know. I don't really know what to do with this guy. 26 and 10 on the season, 1 and 3 on the hard court, 10 and 2 indoors. Yeah, that's it. That's rather interesting. he just hasn't been doing that much. I mean, personally, apart from that game in Toronto against Matteo Gigante, we have not seen Coric since he failed to get past the first round of qualifying in the French Open. But before that, he was coming off a title as well. So it comes in runs. He'll either play really good or he'll play really shit. Emilio Nava done all of his business on the clay. 46 and 21 this season. That's fantastic. That's one hell of a record. And we've only just got into the start of August. That's very impressive indeed. 36 and 14 on the clay. 7 and 5 on the hard court. And what we've seen from him on the hard court since we've come back as well, our second stint on the surface, he's been more than impressive. I've been rather impressed with the American. He got past Vukic and he got past Boo. He took a set off Rublev, ended up getting beat by him in the quarterfinals in Los Cabos. Happy days. A hell of a lot more than what I expected from him, I'll tell you that. Came into Washington, he looked shit against Tien, which I'll never really like that result, to be honest with you. 6-1, 6-4. Maybe it's tournament fatigue, call it what you want. He then went over to Toronto, come through qualifying, beat Mitchell Kruger, got it done against Zizou Bergs, Terence Atman, and ended up getting beat by Kecmanovic in the third round. He did take a set off Kecmanovic too, which is that ain't been easy to do. That certainly ain't been easy to do over in Toronto, so I'll tip my cap to him there. And then we come to Cincinnati, and he's got through qualifying in straight sets, Mikhail Kukushkin and Mariano Navone. I'd have to go with him. I would have to go with him. He seems to be in fine fettle at the moment. Seems to be doing a hell of a lot more than what Coric is doing anyway, so I'd say it's a light pick. It's a very light pick, but I would be going with Emilio Nava on that one. 1.5. It's a bit steep. Now, I don't know if this is correct or not. I'm saying this opened up around, depending where you look. There's a couple of bookies here. You would have got this around 1.7, 1.8 if this opened up at Bet365. It's now sitting at 1.5. Clearly, I'm not the only one who fancies a little bit of the American today. So you pick your poison, you do with that what you will. And then we've got Marcus Giron, Alexander Blockx. I wouldn't mind just having a little punt on Alexander Blockx, to be honest with you. Is he a dog? He's got to be, yeah. Only slightly. A little bit of respect towards Alexander Blockx in this one. 2.3 is the number, that's the price that you're going to have to pay. Little bit of cash coming in on him at the moment too, and I'm not surprised. I would not go anywhere near Marcus Giron today. This is one of them games you look at and you go, he probably should win. Given the experience and given the level and given what we're used to seeing, you'd probably fancy Marcus Giron to get this one done. But I just don't. There's something going on with Marcus Giron at the moment. He's not playing good. He ain't playing that good. I can't remember the last time he was playing good. He's won 3 of his last 10, dating back to Hamburg, the start of May. This is pre-French Open. We're going back to. He's beat Luciano Darderi on the grass, Jacob Fernley on the grass, Ugo Carabelli on the grass, and he's won no games since we've come back to the hard court. That match against Yami Munar, very disappointing. We were more than aware that Munar can turn up. That's what he does. The Spaniard turns up if you're not ready, and he just takes you out. But it was a poor performance from Marcus Giron. Didn't even win a set in his home tournament. And then going over to Canada, he played Manarino, and he got beaten straight sets again. It's not looking good. Certainly not looking good. Alexander Blockx has had to come through qualifying. First opponents had to pull out. And then he was the one who sent Nardi home in straight sets. So I'd lean with him. I would lean with him. I wouldn't pick it with a lot of confidence. 13 and 7 on the hard court compared to 9 and 8 from Marcus Giron. I'm saying Alexander Blockx just because I don't want to go with Giron. 13-20 on the season, 17 and 18 for the American. I can't trust him. I cannot trust Marcus Giron to turn up and get this one done. If anything, we could just be in for a long one. Marcus Giron could just struggle. He could just turn up and wipe the floor with him. This is what I'm worried about. But I've seen nothing from him. Certainly recently anyway, to suggest he's going to do that. Lean towards an over. Look at Alexander Blockx, maybe for a set while he's a dog. I don't know. Maybe just take him to win it straight up. You do with that what you will. And then we've got Kecmanovic and Ethan Quinn. Good old Kecmanovic. You know what I always say about this guy. Just take the dog for the set. Take the dog for the set. Kecmanovic, win or lose, he cannot help himself. He cannot help himself. He will more than likely drop a set in most of these games. It's just a fact. It's the way of the Kecmanovic. We said it last time against Muller. We said it against Hallis. We've said it in pretty much every match. Unless it's against the cream of the crop, this guy can bring a decent enough level, either in the first or second. He can bring a solid game to take a set, probably even beat a good amount of people. But fuck me, can he not maintain it? He cannot maintain it. If he wins the first, he'll drop the second. If he drops the first, he'll win the second. And then, as soon as this enters the third set, or the final set, which is more often than not, with Miomir Kecmanovic, this is what I like to say, it enters God's hands. It really does. There's not a lot you can do with final set Kecmanovic. Ethan Quinn, I think we're kind of used to the level of Ethan Quinn now. Getting more and more familiar with his game. Kind of know what he's going to bring on the day. Is he as accomplished? Is he probably as deadly on the day as proven as a Kecmanovic? I wouldn't have said so. It's not saying a lot, but I do think this is a more than winnable game for Kecmanovic. I would like to think with Ethan Quinn being at home, he can up his level a little bit, and it may just be enough to get past Kecmanovic today. You're getting him just over evens, a very, very slight dog. Kecmanovic opened up around 1.6, it's now sitting at 1.7, so as it stands, a couple of people fancy a go on Ethan Quinn. Take him for a set. If you take Ethan Quinn for a set and Kecmanovic turns up and beats him in two, you're very unlucky. You are very, very unlucky. I'd have to go with him. I would probably have to just take Ethan Quinn for a set. It's an over spot. But what I'm looking at here, these Ethan Quinn games, he either wins in straight sets or he either just gets beaten in straight sets. Washington, he went 1-1. Beat O'Connell in 2, got beat by Binach in 2. Then over in Toronto, beat Nishikori in 2, gets beat by Binach again in 2. At least he's not playing Brandon Nakashima again. That's some solace for him. I'd lean towards an over, lean towards Ethan Quinn for the one set in that one. Right, so next one, got Adam Walton and Mariano Navone. It'd have to be Adam Walton in this one. I say it'd have to be, it hasn't got to be anything. But if you were taking it, surely you'd be leaning more towards the Australian in this, given we're on the hard court anyway. I mean, 28-16 from Walton this season, 3-6 from Navone. That should probably sway you into making a decision. I think it should anyway. I mean, Navone, it's no secret to us, much definitely prefers the clay, a hell of a lot more suited to the clay. And that's not saying he can't get a win on the hard court. There is most definitely people out there that he can beat. He beat Struff in qualifying for Cincinnati. You know what I mean? You take from that what you will. He beat Tien. He beat Manarino at the start of the season. It's whatever. Adam Walton. Been much more impressed with this guy. Been much more impressed with his overall game on the surface anyway. This is definitely someone who is much more suited to the hard court surface. 28-16 this year, 46-27 last year. Yeah, it's just a contrast in styles. Contrasting styles could be a bit of a surface issue in this one for the Argentine. Last time out, we've seen Adam Walton in Toronto against Zverev, and he gave him a very, very close game indeed. Tie-break in the first and then 6-4. That is a lot more than what I expected from the Australian on the day. While the odds are somewhat split down the middle on this, we are getting Adam Walton as the slightest of favourites. You could just take him for a set to sweeten your parlay up just a little bit, just a parlay piece, bit of food for thought. And who've we got next? And we've got Hamad Medjedovic. Oh, good old Medjedovic. I feel like I haven't seen this guy in ages. He's facing off against Alexander Kovacevic. I'm looking forward to this. One. This could be one of the best ones of the day. This could be one of the better matches. Now I'm thinking about it. Kovacevic, I mean, since since that run to the final over in Los Cabos, he hasn't really managed to replicate it, to say the least. He looked fantastic over in Mexico as well. Bumped into El Chapo in the final. Didn't have the minerals to get that one done. He then took out Quinton Hallis in the first round in Washington right after that. Kind of struggled. I think we kind of expected him to after the run that he went on. And then he had another one against Big Foe. Very close game indeed. Ended up losing that. No shame in that one. But then first round, Toronto, he comes up against Tristan Boyer. And Tristan Boyer just kind of made it look easy against Kovacevic, and that does worry me a little bit, coming up against Medjedovic on the hard court. We know what Medjedovic is going to do. He's big, and he's strong, and he serves the shit out of you. He will serve you up on a platter if you allow him to. There's not a lot you can do against that serve. It kind of bails him out more often than not, even when he's not playing that good. He can win enough 3 points off the serve alone. We ain't seen him. We haven't seen Medjedovic since the first round of Wimbledon. He ended up getting beat. Well, I say he got beat. He ended up pulling out against Sebastian Ofner. So maybe he's good to go. Maybe he's forced himself back. I'm not too sure. With all that being said, I think, Medjedovic opened up as a favourite. I think he did open up. Did he? This is split down. No. It's kind of just stayed the same. It's fluctuating back and forth. Call it split down the middle. 1.9 for the pair of them. Head to head is 2-0 to Medjedovic. Hard court last year indoors, and then on the clay last year too. I do think Medjedovic operates a hell of a lot more. Well, just a hell of a lot more, much more efficiently on the indoor court. 11-2 indoors, 1-1 outdoors. Very concerning. Very concerning coming into this spot. I mean, Alexander Kovacevic is no joke. If you didn't know by now, surely you do. He can take it out. He can definitely take out Medjedovic. 100%. He's been playing really good. What we've seen in Los Cabos, if he can bring that, I think Medjedovic is in for a tough time. I'll just see how they look. I will see how they look. So like I said, Kovacevic, although he's went 1-3. Well, 1-4, is that 1, 2, 3? Well, 1 win, 3 losses since the run. Actually, it's not even since the run, sorry. That's including the final. Ignore me, I'm talking shit. He's went 1-2. 1-2 since going on that run in Los Cabos. I do think Medjedovic is a winnable game. I'm sorry, people are commenting on the video about the Shelton one. I'm going to get to the Shelton one. I'll do a separate video for that. I'm just going to sit and wait. It could be an over. If Medjedovic can get that serve off, what I will say is this, and it's usually the case for the majority of people that possess one-handed backhands on these quick surfaces. More often than not, they don't really translate, do they? Especially if you've got someone that can serve in absolute bullets like Medjedovic. Even his baseline game, he smacks the shit out of that ball. You're not going to have a lot of time to set up that one-hander. That's just what I'm going off. I'd lean towards Medjedovic for the set just on that basis, but this is his first game back to the hard court, and what we've seen outdoors anyway, earlier on in the season, was garbage. 1-1 is terrible. Indoors, fantastic. I'd probably just take him in a heartbeat, but you do with that one what you will. And then we'll move on to Comesana, Jaime Munar. I'd probably go with the Spaniard. I think I would probably go with Jaime Munar in this one, although I wouldn't be taking him, certainly not at that price. 1.35, call it 1.4 for the Spaniard in this one. It's just it's going to be tough. It's a tough one to predict, even though Munar is quite highly favoured to get this one done. I think we can say, dare we say, he's a little bit more trustworthy on the hard court. Just what we've seen this season. He's went 7-6 on the surface, 3-1 indoors. Comesana 4-5, not too great. He's went 1-1 since we've come back to the surface. He did get it done against Demir Juma first round in Toronto, and then he bumped into De Minaur. I took him on the spread plus that 5.5, and he just couldn't hold his nerve. In that second set, ended up getting fucking blown out. But we kind of expect him to get beat anyway, so maybe it doesn't hold that much weight as what it seems to have done on the day. two clay babies going at it. Two clay guys going at it. Both of them are most definitely out of the elements. I think we've seen a little bit more from Munar on the surface this year as far as decent wins anyway, so I'd lean towards him. I would lean towards him, but it seems to be the case. Whenever I'm kind of confident that Munar gets it done, he would just have to be a 1.3 favourite. I would not be going anywhere near that price. Absolutely not. But I do think he gets it done. I'm expecting him to win. And then probably the quickest one of the day, you've got Hugo Dellien and Opelka. Opelka, 1.14. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, it is that price for a very good reason. Hugo Dellien. Not impersonal, but he'd probably admit this himself. I imagine he would anyway, but this guy just can't play on the hard court. This guy cannot play on the hard court, and it's been proven time and time again. Time and time again. He went 2-2 this year, 1-2 last year, 0-3 before that. 3-5, 0-3, 1-2, 0-1, 1-2, 0-2, 0-1. Oh my god, he's won, let me just double check. So since 2007, this guy's won 11 games on the hard court. He's won 11 more games than me. You know what I mean? I've never played a fucking professional game in my life. If we were on the clay, there's always an argument to be made for Hugo Dellien. But we're not on the clay, we're on the hard court. And not only that, he's coming up against one of the biggest servers, one of the biggest hitters on the hard court. I think you're going to have a bad time. I think you're going to have a really bad time against Opelka today. I don't think he's going to come close to touching him. It may be a case of Opelka just breaks himself, and if that happens, that happens. But ultimately, I would be very, very surprised. Very surprised, shocked, gobsmacked, lost for words if Hugo Dellien was to turn up and beat Opelka today on the hard court. And then we've got a few more. Shouldn't take that much longer. Got Jensen Brooksby, Alexander Muller. Is the screen went like dead yellow all of a sudden? I don't know. It seems to have a weird light at the moment. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I look fucking jaundiced, like a Simpsons character. Anyway, where were we? Jensen Brooksby, Alexander Muller. I'm starting to believe that. Well, actually, I say I'm starting to believe. I'm actually convinced that what we've seen over in Eastbourne from Jensen Brooksby was somewhat of a flash in the pan. I mean, he ain't been too great. He ain't been too great before it, and he certainly ain't been too great after it. 19-17 on the season. That run in Eastbourne was the difference between him having a negative and positive record. 3-6 on the hard court, 0-2 indoors, 10-7. For Alexander Muller, he already has himself a title, like we mentioned earlier on. He looked alright against Kecmanovic too. We said he could take a set, but he ended up winning the game. Ended up getting beat by Holger in the third round. No shame in that. Jensen Brooksby currently on a 3-game losing streak, 1-3 since we've come back to the hard court. Oh, sorry, 3-game losing streak. That was against Talon Griekspoor in Wimbledon. Since we've come back, got beat by Fonseca. No, he didn't. That's Wimbledon too. Oh my god, I can't read. What the fuck is going on? 0-2. 0-2 since we've transitioned back. Washington, he faced Nishikori. I don't like that. Got beat by Nishikori in 3 as well. And then faced off against Corentin Moutet in Toronto. And he never stood much chance against him either. I'm starting to believe Jensen Brooksby just can't play on the hard court this season. I don't know what it is. I thought Jensen Brooksby's game would have been a bit more suited to the surface, but I don't know. It is kind of like this is kind of like the resurgence season in it. We are still halfway through the resurgence of Brooksby, so maybe I shouldn't be so hard on him. I've been impressed from what I've seen. The games that he's played good. He was decent enough on the clay, solid on the grass. But now we're back to the hard court. Didn't see much at the start of the year, and I definitely ain't seen much since we've came back to it in his last 2 matches. Alexander Muller always poses a threat, 21-20 on the season. It's not that great, but 19-17 is not that great either. These records are somewhat identical to each other. seen a little bit more from the Frenchman on the hard court. He is a very slight dog in this. Jensen Brooksby around 1.7, 1.8. It's either one for the set, innit? I'd like to think, with him being playing at home, he'd be a little bit more inspired to get this one done. But I'm pretty sure I would have said that when he faced off against Nishikori over in Washington. And we all know how that went. So I'll be staying well away from that one. And we shall move on to, look, there's a couple of stragglers here. I'll just pick them off towards the end because I've quite frankly got no idea. But I don't think he'll feel hard done by if a skip on Martin Landaluce and Patrick Kypson. You know what I mean? Well, we've got Daniel Altmaier and Roberto Bautista Agut. Who do you pick in this? I'll tell you what, I just go with an over. I can't split the two. I think Daniel Altmaier can definitely turn up and give Bautista Agut a bit of trouble. And I'm not saying that with a lot of conviction. You know, it's not saying much at all. But I'd want to lean with Bautista Agut. When I first seen it, I thought, you know what, Bautista Agut definitely, but how much can you trust them? How much can you trust either one of these on the hard courts as well? I mean, Daniel Altmaier, he's made significant improvements on the hard court this season. I'll give him that. He's got himself a couple of decent wins. He's won more than I thought he would. 6-11 outdoors, 5-4 indoors. And then we go to Bautista Agut. He was decent on the grass. He had that week where we were just kind of taking him. Was that Mallorca or Eastbourne or Queens? It was one of them. Can't remember. But if we're talking hard court, I mean, 1 win, 6 losses. Outdoors, 1 win, 2 losses. Indoors, 13-20 on the season for Bautista Agut. Call that 25-26 for Daniel Altmaier. I do think Daniel Altmaier's in better shape. He brings a little bit more intensity to the game. Every time I see him, it looks like he wants to win. He comes and he turns up and he tries to win. Close game with Arnaldi in Washington. Close game with Watanuki over in Toronto. I believe he could turn up and give Bautista Agut a tough game today. He is currently on a 2-game losing streak. You're going back to the Hopman Cup and then Kitzbühel, where he got beat by Sabo Field. Yet to play a game on the hard court, well, a transition game onto the hard court anyway. What we did see from him earlier on in the season was absolutely fucking garbage. So maybe I couldn't go with Bautista Agut. Maybe I couldn't. Maybe both of these are more than capable of getting one done against one another on the day, although they've never played each other before. I think it could be a close one. Daniel Altmaier for a set. I think that could be a sound way to look in that one. And then we've got Sebastian Ofner and Valentin Royer. You know, on paper, I'd look at it and I'd put them side to side and I'd go Valentin Royer. I think Valentin Royer should probably get this one done Sebastian Ofner. What am I talking about? I'd say Sebastian Ofner should probably get this one done against Valentin Royer. I was looking at his record, that's why I said that. But the more I read into it, the more I begin to talk myself off of it. Sebastian Ofner, you know, when we first seen him come back, he was looking good, weren't he? We came onto the clay and he looked solid. 17-10, 0-1 on the hard court. I don't think we've seen Sebastian Ofner on the hard court to start the year. No, this guy's season started mid-March, so no hard court games for this guy this year. Apart from the one against Raleigh Opelka in Toronto, a tie-break in the first, and then 7-5 in the second. Close. It's usually the case with these Raleigh Opelka matches anyway. Valentin Royer has had to come through qualifying. He got past Fikovic in 2, and then he ended up beating Liam Draxel in 3. I ain't seen much from this guy on the hard court either this season. 4-3 to be precise, 5-3 indoors. Done the majority of the work over on the clay, 31-11. I can't trust Sebastian Ofner. 4-game losing streak going back to Wimbledon. It seems like since we've come off of the clay, this level's just went fucking... It went right off a cliff. I don't think I could trust him to get it done. Seems to be in a bit of a slump at the moment. Bit of a snide run of form. I don't fancy putting any cash on that. I'm afraid Valentin Royer has won 7 of his last 10, so maybe... Now that is going back to qualifying in Wimbledon too, but you know he's been in better form been in better form, seems to have a little bit more momentum coming into this one. Maybe I wouldn't talk it off going with Valentin Royer in this one. Maybe take him for a set. Sebastian Ofner, the way he's playing, he doesn't look like he's turning up and beating anyone in straight sets, unless it's himself. And if that's the case, Valentin Royer would be the way to look on that. So we'll wrap this up with one more, and then we'll pick off the couple of stragglers towards the end. We've got Monfils and Nishikori, Basavareddy. Can't go with Monfils anymore, can you? You can't go with him. I mean, you can want him to win. I always want Monfils to win, but as far as doing a bit of business with him, I think that ship has most definitely sailed. And that doesn't mean, Monfils isn't an automatic fade spot for me. That is not what I'm saying at all. Especially when he's playing Basavareddy. I mean, what is this guy? I thought this kid would have been sent to the Challenger after. Oh my God, he did as well. He did. I said it, didn't I? I said it after Los Cabos. I literally said it after he got beat by Adam Walton 6-1 and then bageled in Mexico. What did I say? Adam Walton has just sent this kid to the Challenger Tour, and he did. And he's went 2-2 on there as well. See, I completely forgot about Nishikori. I've completely forgotten about him. I have not paid any attention to this guy since that game. And look at that. Sent back down to the Challenger Tour by Adam Walton. And you've went 2-2. Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. Monfils, like I said, there's certainly no business to be done with him, but I'll be damned. I'll be damned. It'll be a sad day today. A sad day indeed if he turns up and ends up getting beat by Nishikori Basavareddy. That's it. I'd like to say no offence. It's not personal against Nishikori. Absolutely not. But I can't say no offence because I imagine you would probably take a little bit of offence to that. But I've got to be straight up with you. I've got to talk about it for what it is. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass. This guy just can't play. This lad just can't play. He can't hang with anyone on the main draw. It's become rather apparent to me. Flash in the pan to start the year off. Flash in the pan over in Auckland, getting to the semi-finals. And he's done absolutely nothing since. I repeat, he's done absolutely nothing since. So it seems like the Challenger Tour may just be the level for Nishikori Basavareddy. I'd be damned if you're going to beat Gael Monfils today. Be damned. It's the first round, it's early doors, so if Monfils has got anything in him, it's probably going to be in a match in the first round. He's currently won 2 of his last 10. That is not promising whatsoever. That is far from promising. It's actually rather off-putting, but you are getting him around 1.55 to 1.6. Considering Monfils can barely win a game, he's still a rather decent favourite in this too. I think the levels speak for themselves, and they will most definitely show today. I will be lost for words if Basavareddy can turn up and beat Gael Monfils today, especially with the way he's been playing currently. I can't see it. I can't see it. Absolutely not. And then a couple that I've left out because look, I've got to go to work in an hour, so kind of wanted to chill. I still need to do the video for the final tomorrow. You've got Tristan Boyer, Brandon Holt. Slight favourite is Tristan Boyer in this one. All American shootout. Listen to me. I've got nothing for it. It's a straggler. We're sweeping it up towards the end, and I'm saying I'd probably lean towards the dog. I couldn't talk it off. It probably is just a dog or nothing in this one. Tristan Boyer's decent. Brandon Holt's decent. I feel like they're both around the same level on each other. 29 and 11 for Holt on the hard court. 10 and 7 for Tristan Boyer. You do with this one what you will. This one's more for the Americans out there. I'll leave this one up to you. And then there was a few more. There was 2 more, I think. Where was the we mentioned one? Martin Landaluce, Patrick Kypson. I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea about this one. I don't think I've watched any of these all season. I may have watched one match with the Spaniard, maybe 2. Patrick Kypson, I don't think I've seen him all season. I've seen his results, and I've seen him dotted around the Challenger Tour, but I don't think I've watched the match. Absolutely not. Martin Landaluce, I think, is a bit more suited well, I don't really know what he's more suited to. He's Spanish, so I was just assuming he's more suited to the clay, but he's been shit on it. 6-10 this year, 8-3 on the hard court. That's not very Spanish. That's not very Spanish at all. Been doing good on the hard court, doing good on the grass, but he can't play on the clay. Strange one. Strange one. Happy days though. I mean, that's decent. It's good to see. At least he can play on the surface. 19-6 for Kypson, and then 7-1 on the clay. Is Patrick Kypson just a hell of a lot better than Martin Landaluce? The rankings would suggest otherwise. 137 for the Spaniard, and then 213 for the American. In this one, we are getting Patrick Kypson around 1.7. I highly doubt there's going to be anyone out there doing any business in this. They have both come through qualifying. Kypson got both of them done in straight sets. He beat Gigante and Vukic. Landaluce just about got past Christian Garin and Arteferi. So maybe Patrick Kypson being a slight favourite in this. Maybe it's probably right. Maybe it's probably right where it should be. And then we shall wrap this shit up with Tien and Leandro Riedi. After that performance against Alex Michelson, I would not be going anywhere near Tien. He plays good, and he plays good, and then he doesn't. He plays good, and then he doesn't. Ultimately, we would have to admit, as much as I probably wouldn't want to at the moment, I would have to admit that this is most definitely a calibre of opponent that Tien should be beaten if we look at the wins he's had already since we've come back onto the hard court. Just to name a few: Andrei Rublev, El Chapo, Riley Opelka. You'd fancy him to get this one done too. You really would. But I feel like I'm done with trusting Tien. It's early days. If I'm going to go with him, it's probably going to be early on. Once you get past that second game, especially the third, this guy's toast. Absolute toast. 1.3, 1.4. There's no way. There's no way I'd be going anywhere near that. If you look at the rankings, he is 61 in the world for Tien. It's decent. It's decent. It's a hell of a lot better than 487 for the Swiss. So unfortunately, I would have to go with Tien to get this one done. I just think he's miles above. He's miles above. Whether he's going to turn up and look like that on the day is entirely up to him, but I would have to go with him. I would have to go with him just based on what we know and what we've seen already. Very well. Very well then, folks. That shall do us for tonight. That'll be a lot. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you stopping by. As always, you all mean a lot to me. Like and subscribe before you go. I'd appreciate that too. But I'll be saying good night to you. Another night shift for me. Duty calls. Should be alright. Should be alright, like I say. You all know I only do the 3. They come round, they come and they go. You know, as soon as you're on them, you're right off them. But I'll be seeing you. You take care. You take care of yourselves. You take care of one another. It's the most important thing, innit? And I'll see you around, folks. Let me know what you're going for today. Best bets, all that stuff, any sport. I say any sport, the good ones. You know what I mean? I don't mean like fucking water polo or fucking kabaddi. But nothing against them sports. If you're into them, fair play to you. You know, each to their own. But if you've got anything, please do share with the group. As always, we all enjoy the advice. We all appreciate some winners, do we not? But see you in a bit, folks. Enjoy the matches today. See you all tomorrow.